Well, if we're in with any chance of winning the championship, we've really got to finish first, or at least finish in front of both Stig and Russell this weekend. So that's obviously what we're here to try. That's our aim.
This is the crunch event then?
Yeah.
Now you've got a new car. How does that differ from the one you had on the Scottish?
The car is, well, this car was actually built for tarmac, and it's certainly, the testing we've done with it feels a bit better than what the Scottish was. We took the Scottish car to Ypres in Belgium, which was a tarmac event, and it handled reasonably well, and it went well there. We hope that this is going to be just that bit better.
Well, it's a difficult situation for us because we haven't got the fastest car in the Vauxhall Chevette, but it's very reliable. But the scoring system of the championship, of course, allows you to drop your worst score. So effectively, Stig's non-finish on the circuit doesn't count. This means the real battle for the championship, if you like, starts here.
You've got a new car. How does that differ from the previous one?
It's exactly the same, except that the body shell is newer, and that's a big help because body shells get very tired. Although we never bumped the other car at all, I'm sure all the welded joints get flexible and it upsets the handling after a bit, and the new car feels very good.
Good. Well, I hope you do well, and as admitted underdog, no doubt you'll be flying.
We'll be trying.
For the next round, the crews and cars were ferried back across the Irish Sea to the Emerald Isle for the Ulster Rally. Like the Circuit of Ireland, the event started from Belfast's Ormeau Square, but unlike the 5-day circuit, Ulster's event was to be a frantic 23-hour clockwise tour of the 6 counties, with little more than a brief stop for breakfast at Omagh. The General Motors boys set off with high hopes. The Audi Quattro has never before won a tarmac-only event. The speeds over the country lanes heading south towards Newry were unbelievable. Stig Blomqvist goes into an immediate lead. Jimmy McRae is second, but trouble with his brakes mean he has only a second ahead of local hero Bertie Fisher in a similar Manta 400 prepared by Sidney Meek. Russell Brooks, in 4th place, has a new car, but is giving away 25 brake horsepower to the Opals. Behind him is fellow Vauxhall man Terry Caby, partnered by Rob Arthur. Next morning, and Fisher, on his home stage, is second. Brooks is outclassed, over 2 minutes behind that. Caby has had a troubled night, including a dropped fan belt, which cost him 13 minutes, and is now 7th, just ahead of a trouble-free Per Eklund. Wilson and DeMuth have gone, so Lord is now second in Group A, with Louise Aitken third. Stage 16 in the Sperrin Mountains of Londonderry was a dramatic one for many. First, Stig struggles through with only 2 wheels driving, having broken a rear drive shaft on the start line. This lets Fisher into the lead by 26 seconds. Then McRae punctures. Having changed the wheel, the rear axle twists, and this has to be changed at the next service.
Problematical morning, I understand.
Oh, it's been a disaster. We've had a puncture on one stage and had to stop and change it. And then the stage after that, the axle broke. The tubes come out of the axle.
Yeah, we saw the puncture actually, but
yeah.
That's no connection with the puncture of the axle.
No, because we stopped more or less right away when we had the puncture.
Meanwhile, back in the hills, Louise Aitken, fresh from her first championship win on the Peter Russack, still isn't happy about hairpins. The Audi is still suffering fuel feed problems, but with the lead to regain and the boost to turn up, the David Sutton mechanics try everything to rectify the fault. McRae is now late after changing the axle, but then fuel fumes infiltrate the car and Jimmy and Ian have to stop and take fresh air. Up on the Antrim moors north of Belfast, Blomqvist is on full song and regains the lead. Cabey, having inherited fourth at the expense of McRae's misfortunes, blows the engine, almost within sight of the finish. Eckland holds on, despite worries over a loose distributor clamp having caused engine damage, but he's still over 4 minutes ahead of Lord. Robin Lyons is worried too. His rear axle is making expensive noises, but he holds on to finish fifth, just a minute behind McRae. Proving just how quick four-wheel drive can be, Stig powers his Audi round a Belfast industrial estate to press home his win. Fisher, a delighted second. Brooks has done all he can and finished third, keeping him in the championship, just. McRae is glad to get it all over and finish fourth. Local drivers take fifth and sixth. Robin Lyons, with George Miller, well ahead of George Robinson and John Billett. In seventh comes the little Group A Toyota of Eckland and Whittock, who finished 2.5 minutes clear of Austin Fraser's Ascona. Ninth on the road, but subsequently excluded for an unhomologated inlet manifold, Chris Lord and Kevin Gormley. 10th and highest place private entrant from across the water, Cyril Bolton and Derek Irvin. Stig then gets the Quattro its first ever tarmac win, and with it lays to rest a few myths. And what a change to have the champers served in a glass. A chance to actually drink it for once and savour his now almost certain championship title.